a YouTube profile.
Dang, I've been talking this whole time. Have you been able to hear me? I wondered what the hell was going on. I couldn't get
Nope,
I
not
couldn't get it
got it.
to add us to stage. I've been talking. I was like, why does it not show us on the big screen? We got to figure it out now, everybody. Technical difficulties. Yesterday's pomade's in the chat.
Am I echoing?
Yep. We'll just have 5 minutes of dead audio at the start of the video, but I apologize. Hopefully that gave some time for people to get in here. So I was just saying it's short Kings week ahead of Mother's Day. Saw you guys 5 foot in single digits. It's your week. Enjoy it. I don't really have a subject for tonight, but if anybody listening has a joy or a sorrow to express, if you got a victory in life that we want to celebrate, congratulate you with or on, we'll do that. Do you have a car cat? Or are you just, is that a cat meowing in the back, or are you playing copyrighted music?
Oh no, I'm not playing. It's my son playing this game. I can turn it down.
Cool.
Not copyrighted.
No, he's good. You just barely hear it here and there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Keep him pacified.
Go get some grub. Oh yeah, there's a cat on this game.
I got a knack for hearing the cat.
Yeah. Well, that's the what is that? That's the muffin top kitty cat. How you been, brother?
Oh, I'm good. I'm not thriving, but I'm surviving.
Yeah. On that one.
Get this camera angle right. Yesterday's pomade said, good news, his dog survived his surgery. Bad news, the bill. That is the tough part. The things we do for our pets.
Yeah. I drew the line with my last dog at a blood transfusion. And I was like, I don't know about that, man.
Your audio's coming in spotty. See if I can turn you.
I had to draw the line. A blood transfusion for my dog. I had to draw the line there.
Gen X Gemini. There's your link, buddy. I was trying to get you in. I was trying to get in on yours right at the tail end when I saw you were live. And then by the time that I clicked on it to comment, you had ended the video. It was showing private. Let's see. I was trying to scroll Twitter, the old Twitter X bird site, and see if there was anything going on there. I've looked up negative stuff, so now that's all that it wants to show. It's all people crapping on Teslas and starting fires in France.
Well, it's about that time of the year again.
Yep, it is springtime. Spring is in the air. French fries. Oh, hat. Yeah. Fires in Paris. French fries.
That's not right.
Wish there was a way I could like turn your camera on screen.
Oh, is it flipped?
Yeah, you're canted 90 degrees.
I'm gonna have to back out real quick. I'll see if I can flip it when I.
And he's gone. Just like that, he kicked himself. Should have had a V8. Muffin Top, are you on dad duty tonight? Did you think it was Wednesday? May is Stop the Bleed month. The old Twitter. That's old footage there. I wish I was like Honda and I could say, Daniel dropped in a $5 super chat. I don't think Daniel even subscribes to me. Tactical Muffin Top is number one in our hearts. He's top shelf baked goods. I hope to get several folks in here. Seems like 3 or 4 is kind of the golden number. You get more than 4 people, you don't have any way to like pass the conch shell around and give everybody a chance to speak. But just 1 or 2 people, it's hard to fill all the dead air. Oh, look, a Pat Riot. Pat Riot, are you with us?
Barely.
What's going on? Did you just wake up or? Pat Riot, you are live.
Yeah, it's crazy low. I'm gonna have to
You're,
jump out and try a different browser.
mm, like you can barely hear me, or Andy's gone. Damn it. Or if it's my audio. I didn't get the notification you're live. Just happened to see it. Well, I appreciate you just happening to see it because I am live. I'm winging this thing. Somebody already took my drumsticks. The lead singer of Three Doors Down just got diagnosed with stage 4 clear cell renal carcinoma. For all you 90s, early 2000s. Pat Riot.
Hey
Go
yo,
Pat.
now I can hear.
You sounded puny a while ago. You sound like you were ill or something.
No, it's just on my phone I have to use Firefox with StreamYard, but my tablet for some reason likes Chrome. Don't know why.
Did you get a forced iOS update? Not iOS, because that would be Apple. A forced Android operating system update this week?
I do not know. It says that periodically, and I usually put it off.
I usually do too, but this one said it had to happen, so it totally changed the UI, and I have it fucked up how I find my notifications on my phone, and seems like it eats battery more now.
Oh, they do that shit on purpose.
Oh, I know. I'm not even going to get down that rabbit hole, but it just pisses me off because it's like you know how your phone works and you're happy with it, and then they change something and promise a better experience, and all it does is fuck up everything that you knew.
Yeah, I know Facebook does that too. Every once in a while they update and everything's different. Marketplace is in a different place, and your groups are in different places.
Are you in Arizona or New Mexico?
I think I'm still in New Mexico.
That'd be my guess. So, what are the pallet teepees for?
Pallet teepees. Oh,
Yeah,
those are just
along the
signs.
road.
They say no parking. We're on the res. They like to do things in a jerry rig kind of way.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen some of the houses. They're put together with popsicle sticks and Elmer's glue. Look, some of them look like.
My stepdad's
Whatever.
dad lived out there the last decade or so of his life. Well, we got Justin B back.
All right, I got the camera situated.
All right. Now we're getting it.
How you doing, Pat?
Not too bad.
On the road?
On the road again.
The camera blurry? Yeah, it doesn't like that angle.
Yeah, it's focused on your dash, but it's okay.
We're on the brown side of the island now. Anyway, it's not very green.
Now I know what you mean. At first, I was about to say, "What the hell is the brown side of the island?"
This side doesn't get much rain.
Thought that might have been a racist joke for a second.
Like,
Yeah, I
isn't the
thought about
whole
it
island
right as soon
brown?
as I was saying it. That's why I felt inclined to. Yeah, the whole island's brown pretty much, so except for the white part.
Yep, that got better. Tactical Muffin Top got the phone update. If everybody will just type !muffins in the chat, we will get the mini game going.
Is the muffin indisposed?
I'm not sure what he's got going on. He just last minute was like, "No live chat tonight."
This is bullshit. Is that coming through clear for you guys?
Oh yes.
I'm in a good area. The further down the road I get, I'll start losing it.
That's okay.
I haven't pulled the trigger on the Elon internet yet. Yeah, this is one of the better parts of my drive. Just on the other side of Albuquerque.
Slideshow Bob, I'm not driving, but I'm steering this chat. Which is better than heifering this chat.
Elonernet.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got a chortle out of him. Oh,
So you have
we lost Justin.
any ideas what you wanted to get into tonight?
No, I didn't even have a topic. I just felt obligatory to fill the time slot. You can act like the ball game ran long and it's pushing into the 5 o'clock news, or I guess 10 o'clock news. Normally the ball games don't affect 5 o'clock. Man, I haven't had cable in forever.
Me either.
Let alone the local stations.
I was never one to watch the ball games either.
Well, Slideshow Bob's giving us a topic. So do you give a rat's ass about there being a new pope?
Not really. My wife was telling me earlier, like, he's American, but he doesn't look American. Maybe he's from America or lived in America or something like that.
If Chicago is America.
Yeah, I mean it's in the vicinity. They don't for the most part uphold our American values. That's for sure. The the Pope has zero bearing
Oh,
on my life.
Yeah.
But neither does anything else that I like to pay attention to sometimes. Just the worried about the way supply chain is going to be with the trade war with China right now, and then India and Pakistan are about to get into it. Evidently, Israel is on fire.
Israel is on fire.
That's what I'm seeing.
Chat, can you confirm that?
He's making they're making light of it, joking that God has is smiting the Jews because of what they've done in Gaza. And I caught a little bit of the Bear brief this morning. He was saying that Trump is floating the idea of relocating all the Palestinians,
Yeah.
like a one-time free ticket to anywhere you want to go in the world. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here.
Slideshow Bob said wildfire started May 1st over there. I guess I missed it somehow.
Yeah, wildfire. I'm doing the air quotes with my fingers. Wildfire.
Keep your hands at 10 and 2. Don't need you
No,
rolling that rig.
when you drive doubles, any tiny little bit of wind makes you weave back and forth. It's
Get the shimmy
kind of
and
hard
shaking.
to thread the needle sometimes. And this has a camera that makes a buzzing noise every time you get close to one of the lines.
Everybody older than me is saying that they're surprised how quickly they chose the new pope. Is that not normally a pretty speedy
Yeah,
process?
I feel like it used to go a couple of days.
It's
But the
been
thing
like a
is,
week.
they lock those guys in there. Like when they're choosing a pope, they can't leave until they choose a pope.
Let me issue a correction. Slideshow Bob is younger than I. I stand corrected. He is officially our youngest subscriber. And Mark, who is one of our wiser subscribers, says no, it's a rather lengthy process in the past. I think Slideshow Bob has the inside track on the papacy. Trying to search here and see if they've got anything, any hard facts on this new guy.
The only thing that interests me about the Pope is would be the conspiracy theory that there's only supposed to be 115 popes or something like that, and this is the last one until the end times. But then some people say it's 115 from when the prophecy was uh, gleamed, whenever it came out, not total in all time. So it could mean end times are here, or it could mean we've still got a ways to go. I think every generation has thought that they were in end times, though.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
But like Bear says, if this is the end times, the Bible oversold it a little bit because things aren't nearly as rough as they describe in the Bible.
So he is from Chicago. He is for open borders and immigration.
Well, the last pope was bringing in, idols from other religions, which
I
is
guess
kind
I
of
missed
against
that.
what the Bible. Somebody was saying, I was listening to a podcast that was saying that he brought in some idol from some South American country. And, the Bible says, you shall worship no idols before me. I know Moses was pretty pissed when he came down off the mountain and they were worshiping a golden calf.
Oh, sorry, Justin B. Try and get back in. I didn't realize that they were only one day into their selection. I thought that they started that like as soon as they put the old guy on the ground. So I thought they had been on this for like a week. I hadn't really paid attention.
Yeah, I'm not Catholic.
It'd be neat to be one so that you could say you're a lapsed Catholic. That
I
sounds cool.
want to say it was the Mel Gibson podcast on Joe Rogan was talking about this last pope. I'm pretty sure Mel Gibson is Catholic. They were talking about the Passion of the Christ movie that he made, all the craziness that went down during the filming of it. The main character got struck by lightning, and one of the other like producers or like the second director or something like that got struck by lightning 2 freaking times.
That's only happened a couple times.
Yeah, and people were trying to figure out whether it was like a warning to stop what they were doing, or I don't know. Yeah,
Either.
I wouldn't mind if they made me the pope. I would open up the catacombs and let the world see what's in there.
Lots of bones.
Well, they've got a lot of relics and information that I think belongs to the world, not just one church.
Well, that's how organized religion, and I don't mean the faith, I mean the physical manifestation of the church has always kept its power.
By not allowing people to read,
By not
they
allowing
wouldn't.
people to read, condemning free thought.
That and the what's that giant museum in the United States?
The
The
Smithsonian.
yeah, the Smithsonian, I think. Every time there's like a weird discovery, they call the Smithsonian, and then it disappears. I'd like to open up their basement too. I like to fall down the giant's rabbit hole sometimes. I'll talk about this island where they found hundreds of giant skeletal remains,
Mm-hmm.
and they call the scientists to come in and check it out, and then everything just disappears.
All of Corey's cousins.
Yeah, the Nephilim.
Be careful where you're at. One could come running out of a cave.
This is true. We were a lot farther north, but my wife thinks she saw a Wendigoon or a Skinwalker. I watch the Y Files all the time. I love that show.
So I've been falling asleep to it a bunch here lately, and then early in the morning when I get up, like if Twin or somebody's not doing a live stream, I'll throw one on while we're getting ready, warm the car up and stuff. And rather than having an earbud in and making him feel like I'm not listening to him, I go ahead and just play it in the cup holder. And so my son will sit there and like he'll watch it too. And it makes him not want to get out of the car to catch the bus. A couple of them have caught his interest. I'm getting excited because he's getting to be that age where like we can start having like he's not a little boy
Conversations about
anymore.
stuff like that.
Right, like he's not a little boy anymore. I'm not ready to show him all the guts and gore and timing, field stripping, and reassembling rifles, but it's exciting to be able to kind of broach more ethereal topics with him.
Lizard people.
Yeah, he likes hecklefish. You scared me for a second there with that hecklefish impersonation. For a second, I thought you were the Pillsbury Doughboy, and somebody pushed your belly button.
That sounds a little different.
Woo!
You ever notice there's no black Pillsbury Doughboys? You think somebody would have burned one eventually
Whoa!
by accident,
By accident. Well, Jot, has everyone done to ready themselves this week? Says Tactical Muffin Top.
Ugh. I finally got around to some maintenance around the house. That's about it. We had some rice and some um, tortilla mix. We went and threw it in the freezer so it can kill all the bugs before I put it away for real.
So you say tortilla mix? You're talking like a flour,
Yeah, it's like a
salt
flour
blend?
that. Yeah, it's like a flour that has everything. Just add water and turns into tortillas.
Is this corn maize or is it?
No, it's white flour.
Okay, so it is. It is wheat flour. That's cool. I went to the Dollar Tree and Walmart and just did my usual buy the things I was going to buy anyways, and then ones and twosies extras of some stuff. I bought my local Dollar Tree's last roll of gauze. They're out of that. It was weird the stuff that they had a lot of and the stuff that they didn't have any of. They still had some more pineapple, so I went ahead and went heavy on the pineapple because I like that. Pretty guilt-free snack too if I decide to have a can, at 10 o'clock at night.
And it's funny. They say pineapple is the only fruit that tries to eat you back. Like that tingling sensation you get in your mouth when you eat it. There's like little tiny barbs or something,
Oh,
and the acid
it's the
tries to
bromine.
eat you back.
Yeah. Let me catch up on the chat here. We got Missouri Survival in the house. Missouri, you've got a link on Discord if you want to jump in. Team Quack Attack. He said, field trip. They're watching you drive the magic school bus.
Yeah.
He's chasing the sun, everybody, but he can't catch up.
Yeah, it's a losing battle. At least I can do 70 in this truck. The last company I worked for, I was stuck at 65 or 64. And when you're out west, 64 seems really, really slow.
Oh, I bet people just pass you like you're sitting still.
Yep. And now I see that company out on the road, and I get a chuckle every time I pass them.
Sophia sowed corn and sunflowers. Mark Legan asked, have you seen, I guess he's talking about the Y-Files. He said, have you seen the one where they're showing the similarities between slabs of minerals taken out of these mountains to that of bacon, how it appears? They're saying these are minerals of salt.
Well, I'm pretty sure out here was sea floor millions of years ago, so I would imagine there's salt everywhere if you look in the right place. I did. I bought a big box of Band-Aids and a 2-pack of antibiotic ointment and made 2 little boo-boo kits. I guess that counts.
There you go. Yeah, I've got a bunch of the triple antibiotic ointment, and then I've said to hell with Band-Aids. As infrequently as I use them, I have just leaned heavy into the new skin or what's the other stuff called? I can't think.
Like the super glue, skin
Yeah,
glue.
exactly.
Yeah, I still like Band-Aids, but I get tired of the shitty Band-Aids that they always give you in like a regular first aid kit, the plastic
Yeah,
ones. So I go buy the cloth Band-Aids. They're the only ones that I like.
yeah. If I buy any more Band-Aids, they're going to be good Band-Aids, name brand Band-Aids. But seems like anytime I have to put one on my finger, it's more trouble than it's help.
Yeah, I always back mine up with electric tape. So I got a big old thumper on the end of my finger. But I just had some weird thing in my pinky, like the side of my fingernail was infected. It was like all red and swollen. I
Mm-hmm.
put some antibiotic salve and a Band-Aid over it, and it was like fixed in a day.
Yep. Did you poke it and drain it before you did all that? Or just
I
left it?
squeezed the shit out of it.
The painful satisfaction.
Yeah.
Gen X Gemini said brake cleaner and electrical tape, good to go.
No, yeah, I was a mechanic for like 15 years. That brake clean is no joke. It'll find, little teeny cuts that you didn't know you had right quick and in a hurry. And, for the Uh, Probably to my detriment. I would clean my hands with that shit. That's probably a really bad idea. Because, it soaks into your skin, gets into your blood. But I would not recommend that to anybody else.
Yeah, the gun stuff, like the gun scrubber or the powder blaster, same way. You spray
Hey,
some of
what's
that on you, it'll light you up.
up,
Missouri
yo,
Survival said, yeah, your liver remembers that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We got a
There's a
Tactical Muffin Top guesting on his own Takeover chat.
Hello.
Oh, crap. Tell us about that, Quack. He said my buddy cut off the end of his finger today.
Uh-oh.
Like to the bone? Like we talking like he just snipped some meat and he's got half a fingerprint now? Or did like we take the first digit? You get to call him Stumpy.
Did you have a
Call him
split
9
lunch, Quack?
3/4.
Doing my dumbbell workouts here. Looking like I'm going to go to bed early.
You ever do any smart bells to like balance back out?
What?
hardy har har har.
It made
Dumbbells,
me laugh.
smart bells.
No, I actually am. I got a Bowflex like fold up gym thing. I've had in my garage for like a year, and I'm getting ready to move the workout equipment I have out now. I want to get a couple pieces of drywall down here so I can mount it to the studs and be semi-permanent. And then thinking about trading all my dumbbells and stuff to get those weights that you can like dial and change your poundage and stuff on them, so that I could just slide those over by it. That thing folds up, so I can do a whole bunch of different exercises in a very compact space. Because the weight bench thing I got now has like the deal that you can like pull and do the front and the back little whatever the fuck you call that back press that you put like the weight on the front and you can pull it above you, and then it's got like a bench attached to it and it takes up a fair amount of room. You can do like the bench and incline and all that shit, squat with it.
Quack's got follow up for us. He said, no, gone. So I guess the guy's fingertip is gone. Slide guilds on elevator lift. Lift them with a strap. Broke hands under the slide guild. Anybody translate that? Sounds like they dropped an elevator on his finger and guillotined it.
Jeez.
I just wonder how the fuck you get one finger under an escalator or under an elevator.
Very carefully.
Slide guide. Okay, so like a track or something in it. Y'all can call him 9 3/4 now.
Hey, you know what I was thinking? Yeah, 9 3/4. Lawfully, I wonder if that cheaper 55 grain I got didn't want to. Well, it don't make any sense to go in the bolt then. I was thinking maybe it was having cycling issues with the suppressor on, but that wasn't the case either.
Suppressor should help cycling issues.
Yeah, his
with increased back pressure.
First round in was jam, and second round in was a double feed. It wouldn't even seat the bolt so I could fire. I had to take the upper off and pull the charging handle and the bolt out to get the round out.
Still talking about the magazine.
Yeah, but I think you're right on the ammo, since the other mag I had different ammo in it, I think.
Well, if it doesn't work, shoot it and throw it in the trash.
No, I might run it through my other AR and see if it has any issues, and then run it through that one again.
I'd try different magazines and then lube the shit out of it.
Yeah, it needs lube for sure. I found that out when I was stripping it out in the middle of nowhere at midnight.
You're running your rifle dry?
Well, shame on me. I need to lube all my stuff up this weekend.
Got to give that what for? That hot tua.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever used transmission fluid in a pinch
Nope,
to lube up a rifle?
I have not.
I tried that like 2 weeks ago. I don't recommend it. Don't put as much on there as I did anyway, because now that shit's everywhere.
I've got some of that SOTAR, School of American Rifle, SOTAR Acha. It's 0W30 and the like red and tacky grease. You just mix it back and forth till you get the ratio you like.
But I was just
It
I was in
doesn't
a
often
hurry.
stay emulsified, but I've heard of people using ATF before.
Yeah, I didn't feel like going upstairs and getting gun oil, so I just went in the garage and had a little bit of, gave it a little bit of lube. It worked, but now there's transmission fluid everywhere.
Yeah, besides being worried about stuff with particular detergents and things in it that might be hard on your metal finishes, I think about anything that's any sort of oil and, wet works. Gen X Gemini, you say that, but remember the fire clean stuff that was just all the rage for a year or two? And then some guys paid to have it sent off to a mass spectrometer lab, and they determined that literally was all it was vegetable oil. And guys thought that was the shit for a couple of years.
That reminds me of the Flintstones. Fred Flintstone made his own glue. He threw a bunch of different stuff together and then used glue. And he thought he invented a new glue. But
That of what?
glue was literally one of the ingredients in his super glue.
You were asking about the automatic transmission fluid. You can look up the recipe online. There used to be what they called Ed's Red.
Yeah, I've looked up. Some guys use transmission fluid in their bullet lube when they're casting their own bullets. Like you mix some transmission fluid and some wax and some other shit together, and you use that as a bullet lube.
Weird.
Let's see if I can find this recipe. Ed's Red. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Way back in the day. 1 part Dextron ATF, 1 part kerosene deodorized, 1 part aliphatic mineral spirits, aka Stoddard solvent or Varsol, and then 1 part acetone. Damn, if that shit doesn't lube your gun, it'll get you high. Make you grow chest hair and lose your nose hair all in one whiff.
All right.
Yes, Fire Clean is cooking oil. I don't remember if it was vegetable oil, like mix, or if it was specifically canola oil. But some guys paid to have it tested to find out what it was. That's an important PSA. Mark Legan said, whatever you do, don't use WD-40. And really don't use, what's the stuff? The old black stinky stuff. Comes in the tin. Triple, man, y'all are making me open all these tabs. Let's see. 3-in-1 oil. Don't use 3-in-1 oil. That stuff gums up too. That's for your, gate hinges and stuff. Don't put it on your guns.
Yeah, WD-40 is not a lubricant.
No, it's a water displacement agent. It gets gummy. It also will pull your bluing off. Like if you
Nice.
spray
I
it
just
on an
used
old
good
blue
old
and
hops. Got a
hoppies.
pretty good sale
Hops
on it.
goes in your beer.
Huh?
It's hoppies. Hops goes in your beer. Hoppies goes on your gun.
Calm down. Calm down, beard man.
I got a good deal on some like Lucas something or other. Comes in these little squeeze bottles with a needle.
Yeah, the needle applicators are nice for precision work, not wasting it. Uh,
Yeah. 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 So what are you hobos talking about tonight? Heard you talk about the Pope and some other gay shit.
we were talking about all the ways we want to frost you.
I'm sorry, what?
Pat said he wants to push you through an aeroving machine
That's pretty hot. Thanks, Pat.
and stick his tongue out and catch whatever drips off.
It's gonna be a lot. You're gonna need more than your tongue.
I'm about ready to take that bodyguard home.
That a boy.
So,
It's a good little pistol. Good little church
we
gun.
sell the fire out of them.
You what?
We sell the fire out of them. People like them.
Yeah, it's a good little gun. I almost picked one up one time, but then I was a real man and I just decided on a Glock 43, but I don't have either one, so shame on me.
I'm talking the new one that's wholly usable and higher
Yeah, the
capacity.
2.0.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
I shot
Bodyguard
great.
2.0.
Has a great trigger on it. Really good group. I was pretty surprised for the size gun.
Scary good trigger.
Yeah, I'm surprised M&P didn't try to take over the law enforcement market by putting a dot on one of their M&P, like an M&P 2.5 or something. I
They
think they could have
have
kept it
optic
because
cut
those
MMPs.
M&P 2.0s are pretty freaking nice.
You know they have a whole fleet of optic cut M&Ps, right?
You what? I
Is it
missed
that
what
you
you
didn't
said.
hear me or you didn't comprehend me? Which is it?
No, I'm working out. I didn't hear you.
I know I'm a little lispy sometimes, but said you realize they have an entire line of optic cut M&Ps?
Yeah, but they're not dropping them for like what the Walther package is for LP or LE rather. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why they didn't try if they were really going to gun for the market ahead of Glock. I think M&P is way better than that Walther. Of course, I haven't shot one of them Walthers, so I can't be 100% unbiased. I've shot the M&Ps. They're nice.
They're a little snappier, but they're pretty exquisite all the way around.
But like you said the other day, if they're qualifying better because they finally have a dot on their pistol, and they could have done that 3 years ago with the Glock, and they wouldn't have had to shell out. I mean, you probably could have got like a department wide deal on dots and not even paid what you paid to swap over to the freaking Walther. You know, everybody's duty gun would have been all right. If worst case scenario, you needed an MOS slide, or you just got them all cut. You probably would have got a deal if you sent over like 10,000 law enforcement pews to get them all cut. Know what I mean?
Totally.
That's what I would have done. By the way, have you heard anything about the military? I guess they had, what was that? The Army had 150 guys, and they failed the spear. Sounds like SIG's not doing very well lately on long guns or handguns.
Well, palm grease can only get you the top for so long.
Yeah, they're gonna go
Have-
back to 244 Valk and just swap all their M16s over or M4s.
No, 224 Valkyrie's a dead cartridge.
244
I think
Valk is hot as fuck.
I think they're going for the that new SS ammo that they came out with. It's a stainless steel alloy cartridge, and what's it called? It's not, the SS doesn't stand for stainless steel. What is it?
Super something. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I would imagine.
It's screaming hot out of a
It-
20-inch.
Yeah, you're supposed to get like another 300 feet per second out of the round, basically.
Yeah, I'd like to try some of that.
I mean, it makes sense. Like you wouldn't have to change anything except start buying a different kind of ammo.
Does that affect your thread? Your one and your twist rather? Do you need an optimal twist to shoot that lawfully?
Repeat that question.
I said the wrong thing. Does that have an optimal firing rate out of a certain twist rifle? So like if they have like the 1 and 7, 1 and 8, 1 and 9.
Well, twist rate for everything is determined by
With that new
projectile
ammo?
mass and projectile length. Yeah, I'm sure that 277 Fury probably has a fairly fast twist rate.
No, we're talking about that stainless steel ammo.
The higher pressure plays into it, but
The
I'm not a
only thing
college-educated
difference
politician.
the only difference that I could think is that you might start wearing your barrel out a little bit faster, just with the pushing the bullet faster.
Oh yeah, you're gonna firecrack
Like
it.
like what do they call that? The throat erosion or something like that.
Yep, your barrel burns out from both ends.
But if you're, if you're running a chrome lined barrel, I don't know that you're gonna. Most normal people are never gonna shoot their barrel out.
Right.
I don't think these new barrels are chrome lined. I think they're nitrided. I think it's the first military adopted nitrided barrel.
Yeah, but if they just go back to their standard M4s and then start running this hotter ammo, that's what I'm thinking. Like they don't got to change anything. They just start buying different ammo.
Well, the M4 was already a concession of reliability in the moment. Like it already hot rods the heart of the M16 pattern rifle. It's harder on your bolt lugs. It's harder on your cam pin. Having that shorter gas system. So I don't know if that they could go any higher pressure. I mean, that M855A1 that they're fielding, there's already reports of increased parts breakage.
All right, y'all, you got me for 20% of my phone battery. Got my dumbbell workout in. Got my tries and buys, 100 reps on each.
I wish I could remember what the hell. I can't even remember the name of the company that's making it.
Hey, Matt, what matters is I remember you, baby.
But I think, like most people already have their training ammo taken care of. If you've got a stockpile of a thousand or more,
I'm
I
gonna agree
think
with that.
just buy a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 rounds of this new stuff. Set your rifle in using that, and then just keep that back for the
The bad guys.
the bad guys.
SIG just calls theirs their hybrid case technology, but I know you're talking about that other company.
Yeah, I'm not too impressed with SIG lately. Their sights or their firearms. They're kind of sucking it up in the market. You'll get them SIG boys. Oh, yeah, SIG's way better than Glock. I'm like, well, my Glock still works, and they don't have all these fucking class action lawsuits, and multiple people in the military saying they're junk. You know what they're all carrying at home is a fucking Glock. Unless they're indoctrinated.
Shell shock technologies, Pat.
Yeah, that's it.
Their next generation ammo. The nickel alloy shell.
Ooh.
Is that what it is? Nickel? I thought it was stainless steel.
Yeah, nickel makes sense. I know a lot of higher pressure, like hunting calibers and stuff, that really like that nickel plated shit.
So it is. I see the words, but my brain's not comprehending any of it. That's because I'm looking for what I want.
You're so smart, Lawfully. We love you.
It says that it is a high tensile nickel alloy cylinder. Functionless.
You give me a high
Functionally
tensile.
less abrasive. All right. It says functionally less abrasive than brass, self-lubricating, and corrosion resistance.
How do you be self-lubricating?
Because nickel is slicker than brass.
Yeah, but does it like got lube infused with it when it like? I guess more like self-cleaning, maybe.
Stronger and more elastic than brass. Springs back close to original shape, so it doesn't fire form the way brass casings do.
Hmm.
So it does all of the good shit that steel case does, but none of the bad shit.
Ooh. What's that run for a box of 500?
I don't know.
They're
A lot.
they're north of $1 a shot.
Oh my god! I'm pretty proud of
Yeah,
that, aren't they?
that's what I'm saying. Like you've already got your training ammo covered. Most of us do.
Right.
Couple thousand rounds of just ball ammo. Well, when just get 1,000 rounds of that, invest in it,
Yeah,
sight
that's
your
true.
rifle in using that, and then keep that back for the boogaloo.
Yeah, that stuff's probably going to go up if we ever get into any of the 3 to 4 conflicts popping off. Do you guys see the North Korea one? China and Russia
No.
teamed up and they basically said they're going to stand in solidarity. And then, literally, like an hour after that, I'm pretty sure China just said, "Hey, launch a bunch of shit to Japan," basically spreading us out on what is that, 4 or 5 fronts now? Houthis, Israel, freaking. We already got the Russia and Ukraine. China
The
goes to
Houthis,
Taiwan. Would be
the
fifth.
Houthis aren't nothing.
Houthis are backed by Iran, which is backed by China and Russia. We already
Yeah.
know that's their proxy.
But all we've done to the Houthis is sling them a few missiles.
Yeah, and supposedly, what Pat said, it Israel's on fire, and that's quote unquote the Houthis doing that. So basically, that's just Chinese and Russians in underneath their flag. But
Israel can hold their own.
Israel is like an island out in the ocean around everybody that hates them, and all it takes, is a logistics line to go down, and then they're out of stuff to load in their Iron Dome and to load into their magazines, sir.
But all of the people surrounding them are third world compared to them.
Sure.
And
Despite all,
Everybody over there still has
literally
a full auto AK, like it's your grandpa's 22. You know what I mean? It's a different world over there than here. And then you get somebody to supply some sort of logistics to them, China, Russia, whomever, and say, "Hey, we're going to give you X amount every month. If you go take more, we'll give you more. If you give us any American technology," which is what they've done on the battlefield in Ukraine, anything that you can take in a piece, you get a huge bump in pay and up in the ranks and food and whatever. That's why they were trying to take all those tanks and stuff before they found out our proprietary bulletproof crap wasn't in them, because we sold it to them without our goo that we put in between the plates, and they were just the steel plates.
it's Chobel armor, reactive armor.
Yeah, that crap. Iron Man gear. Yeah.
It's not goo. It's literally explosive plating. Like that. The idea is it air bursts. It sets off the incoming ordinance before it is close enough to do its.
Okay, well, we didn't
damage.
sell them that crap, but yeah, you know.
Well, there's export models of everything that we sell.
Right.
We don't even always give our closest allies like the latest, greatest.
No, I wouldn't. That wouldn't make sense. It'd
Like
be like you
the
having
ve-
your absolute best buddy load out and then giving it to some guy you don't even know.
I'd say that's more like handing your rig to somebody you don't even know.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I'm worried. I don't know where the fire is, but you know, wildfires. There's not much you could do about it. It's got to like wait for the weather to break and burn itself out. Like if that starts coming towards the city, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Like the Iron Dome isn't going to stop a wildfire.
Is that what they were doing? I seen something about they were lighting fires, but I don't know if that's. I
Like
kind of media blacked out today. I was just listening to an audiobook today because I was so sick of the news.
Yeah, I haven't looked at any news today either. I need to figure out where those fires are to see if they're threatening any of the cities, or if it's just out in the middle of nowhere.
Where at?
Like fire is the original weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah, it's hard to stop, man. Super hard to stop. I have a little update on that fan that I got, that orange one. It's been running all week after work here in the living room, and it works pretty great. Goes for about 3 or 4 hours a day on low, oscillating, and I've yet to charge it since the first initial charge, so it's doing good.
Sounds like if you pair that up with a little solar charger, you'd be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Where's that at, Lawfully? Jeez. Why are you driving that close to that shit? Is that get retarded?
And I've heard reports that some of the videos you're seeing are actually from Gaza. Fires in that area.
No, that's Moria.
Are they showing see if they can show where the fires are on a map?
Lawfully is ignoring us.
Can you put it in the Google machine, just like Israel fire map or something like that?
Is that kid doing it right there? Lawfully is ignoring us. Oh, there you go, right there. Click on that. What's the big question mark? They don't know where the fires are there yet, or what? You're muted, Lawfully.
There, it said that says map of fires all over Israel right now, except in Palestine, except in Palestinian territories. Climate change is weird.
Interesting.
Is it because there's nothing left there to burn?
That would be my guess, is that it's probably mostly desert.
Well, I don't know if you remember listening to that senator here calling all the black or the white people the threat, and then all the ensuing pro-Muslim in the U.S. states, I'm going to assume that tactic will be employed here soon. As we've said, fire is cheap and destructive. Maybe fire safety and learn how to cut a fire break. Keep your yard very well watered.
North of occupied Palestine.
Jeez. That's the Strip. That's Gaza, right?
That was Gaza.
Yeah.
Anywho. There's that. The chat hath died.
Good.
I think everybody probably bounced over to Jay. He was doing his Thirsty Thursday live.
Gen X Gemini, it's okay, buddy. Get a police trade in. They're only like 3. If you get a 23, you can get it for like $2.79 muffins, and then you can get a comp barrel that changes it from 40 to 9. And then that little piece Lawfully keeps telling me to change out for 10 muffins. And literally for under, you could probably snag it on a good day right out about $4.25 out the door. $4.50 with the transfer fee if you have to.
I zoned out. What are we buying?
He said he wanted a Glock, but they're expensive. He said he wants a Glock, but he can't afford a Daisy.
You go down to the red light district.
Ooh.
Offer to lick a few daisies.
Whoa.
You can afford a Glock.
You just got to keep your eyes open down at your local gun shops. There's always Glocks getting traded in.
A little bit of selling some crap you don't need around the house, and then a little bit of maybe a layaway payments or trade off something that's just sitting there collecting dust in your gun safe. And you probably come out doing it without any, skin off your knuckles, fruit off your plate. You know what I mean?
Go to Gun Broker, that place that breaks guns, Gunbreaker.
Mm-hmm. Or snag a blaster.
Let's see here. If you search Gronk 19.
I like Gronks. I've been looking for a Gronk 19 Gen 5 MOS and trying to forego the Koa and go with the green dot enclosed because I like green.
Yeah, they want like $1,300 for the Koa. I just checked the broke gunner, and there was only one on there, and it was $1,300.
Dude, that guy is a joke.
Gunbreaker has them for $3.99 muffins. If you're fine with it being not MOS,
that's pretty good.
If you want one,
MOS.
I don't think
it's like $6.20 muffins.
I don't think you should buy anything that's not optics ready in this day and age.
I agree with that.
I don't disagree. But you can even get a Gen 3 19 and then buy
a slide,
an RMR cut slide from somebody like Rim Sport. And if you buy them from their Bay Ease listing, they're $5 cheaper than buying them from their site. Or
what's going on with the
audio?
What's going on with the daggers? I'm hearing from various sources that their quality control is going way downhill, and they're having problems with them now. Is anybody else hearing that?
I've seen a couple that are like cracked on the Instagram, and Lawfully sent me one. But honestly, I didn't have any issues with mine. It's the longevity factor that I had an issue with.
Yeah, it's not really a proven platform over the years, I guess.
Yeah. But to be fair, I don't even think I had 500 rounds to that thing. But it was my first. Yeah. No, I don't even think I put 500 through that. But it is, I mean, for my first dot, to realize that I like dots on my pistols, it was the most cost-effective way to get in on it. So, I mean, for the time. Now you can do the Ruger.
My blanket table slid.
I want to be your blanket table.
Just a wadded up blanket and a Ferrero Rocher lid.
Look at you, fancy Rocher. There
Rise
you
and
go.
grind, Gemini. Rise and grind.
Hell yeah, Gemini. Rock what you got, man. Be proficient with what you got. Dry fire practice. That's free.
What's the saying go? I don't fear the man with 10 guns. I fear the man with one gun.
Who
Knows
knows
how to use it.
Yep.
For surely he knows how to use it. Fear the man
Like
with
if
only
you,
one gun. For surely he knows how to use it.
have you seen some guys go into town with like a bolt action? Instead, they don't run the bolt and then take their hand off and put their hand back on the stock and pull the trigger. They
Nope. They
keep their
run it with the
hand on the
left
bolt.
hand.
They keep their hand on the bolt and they use their middle finger to pull the trigger. And they can run a bolt gun like stupid quick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So even if all you had was a bolt gun and you know how to run it, like you could be a force to be reckoned with.
I'm
For
letting
sure.
you know. There's some guys that have ARs in my mag, and I'd honestly probably rather them run their 12 gauge because I've seen them make some really good shots at the 12 gauge. Just because they're hunters, like being
Yeah,
able to read 12 gauge, very instinctively shooting and quick, and knowing how to reload quick, just to getting in on like quail and waterfowl and stuff. Like that's the gun. Honestly, that and my bolt gun I use way more than my AR or my pistol, because you got to practice with it to keep proficient, because it puts food in the freezer. I probably run my bolt gun more than anything. Probably my pistol and then my bolt gun, but I run my shotgun a lot. And I need to buy probably new extractor springs. I probably need probably a police duty spring in that bad boy for the tube. I probably need that little, because I still have the old factory plastic piece. I need to get that little middle. I was looking at it, and it's been kind of finicky the last couple of years. I'm like, yeah, I should probably overdue for changing out some parts on this sucker. I've had it since I was 12. Never changed nothing on it.
Yeah, fresh springs are always good.
Yeah, I need that. Probably need to get that all ordered here correctly.
I'm currently going through restless rifle syndrome. I keep swapping my optics around trying to figure out what I want.
Crossbow Gen X.
Pat, did you see the short I put up a couple days ago?
I can't say that I did.
What do you mean rifle syndrome?
Restless rifle syndrome. I keep swapping my optics around.
I get pretty dedicated. That's what I like. Usually when I like it, it stays there.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what I want.
I
had an idea. I had an idea last night. I have a 4-16 by 44. I was thinking of putting on my go-to rifle, and then a offset dot. So I've got a 1X and a 4X, and a 16 if I want it.
I wouldn't want to fight with just a scope. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to run. If I'm going to go to a scope like that, I'm going to go to my bolt. That's what it's for. That's just me. And that's just me with a
Yeah, I
lowly
might
270. But I
slap
know
it
that
together this
270 is
weekend.
going to. I know that 270 is going to run a lot farther out than that 5.56. If it can take down
Yeah,
a
where
deer
I
at
live
400,
though,
it can
there's
take
not a
down a
whole
two-legged critter at 400.
there's not a lot of 400-yard shots going on where I live.
Well, then I'd probably definitely go against it. Like Lawfully knows his situation is what, not even quite 100 yards Lawfully at max. So he's just dot, which makes sense where he's at.
I could shoot further than 100 yards.
Right.
What
You
is?
were saying tree lines and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is I'm not going to shoot at something that I can't first acquire with the naked eye,
Right.
and I don't plan to like poke up and present myself in that situation either. So if I need magnified glass for looking around, I'll hold up a pair of binoculars.
I've been really wanting to pick up just an ocular because you can like run that in your vest, you know.
You can
I've
pop
been
your
looking at like,
magnifier off your rifle and look around with it.
nah, fuck that. If I'm gonna
I've
do it,
done
I
it.
use it for hunting and stuff too, you know.
Yeah, but it does. I'm saying like it doesn't affect the magnifier to pop it off and look around with it.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, if you really run it super, super cut weight. I've been looking, I really wanted to get like that Invaders concept rig and then like one of those Vortex binocular bags and kind of have that be like my little hunting / scouting around town. You know, that and like
The
a vest
gram is
belt
getting
would
you.
be almost ideal for me.
The old Instagram is getting you.
Yeah. I've been talking to them. They said I was too small to work with them. And I said, I understand, I'm fat. But ours got one. I don't know what brand his was. It came with his 5.7 on a deal, and he really enjoys it. Little chest holster for that. That makes a lot of sense too. Like if you get a zip hoodie and you just want to go for a jog, just throw that on with your shorts. You don't have to worry about dinking running around some weird rig or fanny pack. Keep that high and tight on you, and then you can get a good jog in, you know, or a good run. Not that I do a lot of either, but Muffin Top's toes and his foot's been numb for the last 2 days, so I don't know what's going on.
I dabble in the archery a little bit. I have at least 2 compound bows. I might have 3. Can't remember if I gave one away or not. And I also have 2 crossbows. I haven't shot archery in a while.
Same.
I just remember probably want to have a metal detector if you're going to get back into it. Because those arrows like to slide up under the grass and they just hide real nice.
They're bolts, Pat.
Not if you're using a compound bow.
Right.
Crossbow bolts you don't miss.
They're pretty handy. I
Sometimes you pass through though.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
If it's close, it's going to go through. I always thought, you know, if it was going to be super duper SHTF, that I'd rig up all the black powders and the crossbows up on like trip lines. I always thought that'd be kind of cool.
Till your son sneaks out with Sally Mae, the neighbor girl in the middle of the night off
Yeah.
into the woods.
Uh-oh. What happened? You got a black powder blast through the back of you, and Sally Mae got one through her titty. Bad night there, son.
What do you have? Genital seeking muzzle loaders or something?
You know it, girl. And I've been really thinking
It's
about.
ma'am.
Yeah, I've been really thinking about. Got a couple households really thinking about that film, that window film, Inside and Out, especially one for storms, two for you can't see in, and the world's getting sicker, and public service announcement. It's summertime and people get real lazy and look at their phone, but just as close as holiday season is because everybody's running around and they're busy. This is a really big season for kids to get kidnapped. So I've been thinking about that security film and the one-way seeing in the rooms that he would be partaking in if I were going to be outside, mowing or something or weed eating, and he was taking a nap or just chilling, playing in his room. Been thinking about that kind of stuff.
Have you seen the
Extra armor for your house, if you will.
the shoe inserts they have for toddlers that you can put an air tag in?
Yeah. The problem is, like, the really experienced ones, they strip all their clothes and like shave their head and shit, change their appearance really fierce. Know what I mean?
I think if you're half as prepared as you think you are, if some guy snuck up your driveway, broke into your house, stripped and shaved your kid, and then snuck back out.
Yeah, I don't think it's my house that I have the issue with. It's travel and vacations and that kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Well, the
Going
film on your
vacation
window at
and
home
stuff.
didn't do anything in those situations.
No, I just multiple reasons for the window stuff, but security storms and whatnot, and with the tariffs and whatever, down the road things could get more expensive. I think the film would be probably a good investment if you got further squared away on your preps list and people are looking for off the cuff things / side gig they could do is up armor all their mags / families' houses that way. I always think, especially like in that book when Steve tried to bust into his boss's house on that slider. Sliders are a terrible way for entry for criminals. And I won't have one in a house. I'll have a French door with chicken wire on both sides before I did that.
I think human-sized panes of glass, period, are
Stupid. I agree.
yeah.
I deleted the human-sized panes of glass in this house and went to standard-sized windows in them. My wife's like, "Why? It let in so much light." And I said, "And it can let in a lot more than just light, babe."
I think if it's going to be a rental in the future, smaller windows are better.
Heat and cooling.
Yeah, heating, cooling, easier to replace if they're ever broken.
Mm-hmm. A lot easier to
Plant,
find.
plant obnoxious, thorny bushes under the windowsills.
Yeah, but that can be an issue with a rental too.
How?
You get some idiot kid running around dinking with them. Parents don't like them. If they don't upkeep them while you're gone at the property, they die. Some,
A lot of them,
not
a
all.
lot of them thorny varieties are pretty easy on water.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying there's multiple things.
Yeah, I think holly bushes, they're pretty good. They don't take a lot of maintenance, not like a rose bush. It
Yeah, I
needs to
know
be
a lot of
cut
people
back
think.
every so often.
Yeah, I know a lot of people think like roses and berry bushes, but they get temperamental, and if you don't spray the bugs off them in time, or if you don't keep the roses alive in the winter just right, or you don't trim them, you know.
Hugh Hefner liked hollies.
Just the gal's
Bush.
name, or
No, the bush.
Yeah, you like push, that's for sure.
And I don't think you're going to catch up to the sun.
Nope. I've lost the race.
Unless you got skis on that rig.
Yeah, Mark, that's what I was thinking. Chest pack.
I thought about putting giant planters under some of my windows. Have like a foot or so thick of dirt or sand,
Sand or plates. That way you can have
or
a
yeah, or metal plates.
right. You can put that up so close to the house that somebody can't get in, and then you can put your bush in there. So you have a bullet stop that nobody knows about, slash if some crazy drunk we're going to drive in your yard or whatever. And it looks nice, adds a little bit of curb appeal without anybody without a decent eye. Like if you put an L on the corner of your house, or you have like a flagpole with like an L, that's a really good barrier for you to have a nice little area, LPOP, close quarters, if you will. Still focus fire away from the home. Just technicooling your house to make it look nice at the same time. Kind of that hybrid that only people that think the way we think would think about it.
Like putting steel plates at the top of your stairs in case you ever had to fight somebody at the top of your stairs, like one in the floor so they can't shoot you up through the floor.
I have
and
thought about that.
and one on the wall so they can't, just pierce the drywall.
Right. Yeah, if you had a fatal funnel in your house and you just happen to redo your drywall right there and you just put some armor there that you know about.
I thought you were going to say you put a piece of plate steel at the top of the stairs so that way if they try to come up the stairs, you could kick it down and shin them.
Hey, man. That too. That too. I had thought about getting one of those. Of course, then I realized the limitations of Muffin Top's body. I used to
Like
always
sharpen,
want one of those riot shield deals.
give them the old Home Alone treatment.
No, I just thought like the riot shield with your pistol. I always thought that would be like a good idea. Just like throw frickin' a pole or something in the ground and slide that over it so you have something to hide behind if you had to. I always thought that'd be cool. But then I'm like,
I understand.
and then I picked one up and walked around with it. I'm like, this thing is heavy as fuck. I'm not carrying that around.
Not just that, but you've got to. I understand indulging the occasional want, but being practical about it all, you have to weigh out the cost benefit analysis. There's
Yeah, it's not worth buying it just to sit down and look cool by a gear tree.
a lot of tactical, impractical products on the market.
I know. Yeah, you've talked me out of the pistol and brace combination that I so dearly wanted.
Oh, that brings us back. Yeah, that's why I was asking Pat if you had seen my new short
For the Flux.
because you own one already, but I got in a P320 Flux Raider for a customer.
Pat's ignoring you.
I'm listening.
Anyway.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's going to stay.
Yeah. What do you think?
That's a lot of capital to have built up in something that's just basically a range toy.
Right. Do you think you'd just stick with your pistol and have like a cache with like your 1022 in it would be better, or an AR? Because my idea for it was my son's about to get down the road to be doing ball games and stuff. I always thought like the sling pack would be a good option.
Take the microphone out of your ass.
No. I always thought, having like a Glock or like a 34 Glock or a 17 or something in that whatever Recover Tactical 2020 brace and like a sling pack would be cool. But then I'm like, well, I already carry around the Keltec Sub 2K anyway. And then Lawfully's like, well, at that point, you either just get good with your pistol and not be retarded, or you go to a rifle. And I know somebody who carries one of those breakdown 1022s, and that makes a lot of sense because he's like, well, worst case scenario, my wife or my kids can run it, and I can just run my pistol still, you know? And it's light. And if you get apparently the new one that's like a pound, even better for, you know, a carry backpack type gun. I seen one guy at the zoo who had that 1022 sling bag that it used to come with. I'm like, hey, that's a pretty nice Ruger bag you got there. You got that breakdown in there? And he just looked at me. I'm like, nice, bro. Because like gun guys know gun guy stuff, but the security guy didn't even think about it, didn't even look at it. I'm like, that guy's in fucking 5'11" pants with a Ruger bag on, and you didn't think that guy had a gun on him? That guy screamed, I have a gun on me, bro.
For me, it's like a light switch. Under rule of law, I'm not going to carry anything like a pistol and a couple mags is fine. And then like you flip the light switch, at that point, you don't need any of the goober smooching, not a rifle stuff. Like at that point, you would just overtly carry a rifle. To me, there's no gray area in there.
My God.
I can see situations where you wouldn't want to be overtly carrying a rifle, like trying to not look like a threat or a target.
Right. Or if you had limited space and you're traveling long distances, say, you know, driving a couple wheels more than a standard four-wheeler.
But like if it has to, but if it requires a bag to not be seen, then it can go ahead and just be an AR broken
down. Yeah.
Like, I don't like it's all movie mall ninja bullshit. And I get it. It all fucking looks cool. Like I think it all looks fucking cool too. But the rational side of my brain says that's just stuff to separate me from my money. Like it's not
like another carry pistol.
Yeah. But that one will go in rotation and it literally will be with me every day.
And then you just carry two pistols.
I already do.
And then I get into the movie bullshit of why do I need two fucking pistols and a folder and a fixed blade knife and a butt plug holster and all this other shit. And I'm just like, just gonna carry two mags and a Glock 19, bro. Like, no. I think what's more important, which I had talked to you privately about, is I think the ankle fact is going to be in my travel loadout in the very near future. I think the ankle fact is coming along for the ride. I see myself using tourniquet or a Slishman a lot more because probability dictates you're probably going to be by a car wreck before a gunfight, right? If you're living in good quarters.
It's an easy way to have most of an IFAC on you without having to have like puffy cargo pants.
Right. The problem is with shorts, but then with shorts you just throw the cargo shorts on and you just slap it in that pocket. But
you could,
which is what I typically do when Muffin Top really hadn't worn shorts until last year because I quite frankly had been too fat. But I finally been able to get in some Carhartts and whatnot.
Make up your own little slick kit for the cargo pocket of your shorts. Just try and find a heavier plastic bag and throw some gauze and whatever into that little kit you just slide in your pocket.
Yeah.
I just throw a cat and a vacuum sealed pack of gauze
No gloves?
Man, it's dirt medicine. It doesn't matter.
If it's wet and it's not yours lawfully.
I know, but I'm not.
But if it's wet and it's my family's wet, I'm not going to stop and put gloves on.
I'm not worried about anybody that I immediately love having hepatitis or AIDS, so it'll be okay if I stick my paper cut finger in their boo boo or vice versa. We'll go to the hospital. We'll get rounds of antibiotics.
Gentlemen, I'm at 9%.
He's at 9%, everybody. Hit that like button if you're entertained. Hell, hit that dislike button if you're not entertained.
Yes, Quack Attack. Pat talked about this the other day about how his wife wanted one of those big glass windows. First off, it's absolutely horrendous for your heating and air bill. Second off, it's absolutely a horrendous entrance point to your home. Third off, why in the fuck do you want everybody to see inside of your house? That just screams I'm an ignorant retard.
Maybe he's dipping his toes into being a nudist.
I think most of those glass front doors, their glass is at least frosted for the most part.
Still, man. You see all these gangsters and stuff running. If they can't afford a gun, what do they have? They either have a knife or a hammer. Well, if they're already planning on breaking in, they're probably going to have a crowbar and a hammer.
Muffin Top's windows are frosted.
No. Muffin Top has no entryable windows.
Unfortunately, we have a giant bay window in our living room, but it's pretty far off the ground, and we do have some sticky bushes underneath of it.
Yeah, we did that, but then I put regular ones on, so they're way high off the ground.
And then we do have the glass sliding door around back, but I do have plywood that I can put over that.
But do you implement that whilst you're away?
No,
See?
I have a 21-year-old Sentry in my house at all times.
Oh, good. Plus the dogs.
Or is he 22? Yeah, and a security system that barks when the leaves blow.
All right. Moat full of gators. There you go, Team Quack Attack.
My area is just a pretty good area. We don't have a whole lot of trouble with. Trouble doesn't come find us.
Yeah, but we're all prepping for the eventual SHTF. If in what case that we've all been talking that you just end up hunkering down in your house. You want that to be as defendable as possible, right?
Yeah.
So if times get tough, during the Great Depression, it looks like we could be heading that direction. There was a lot of break-ins and thefts because people had to resort to any means necessary to feed their kids. That will happen again in the nice areas. You don't think all the fucking broke people are going to keep breaking into all the trailers and apartments, or they're going to say, hey, I'm going to go down this cul-de-sac where all these rich people live. And then they get 6 or 8 buddies to go with them. Oh, these guys are at work because they didn't get laid off. Nobody's here. Time to break in kind of deal. You know what I mean?
I'm a little worried that I've got a giant target like 500 yards from my house. We have a
You cut out. But don't dox yourself either. The lady said his girlfriend's the manager of a Dollar Tree. They have a plan to loot the store if something goes down. That's not a bad idea, honestly.
Where did you read that?
He just messaged me or messaged it in the Discord.
So all
That's
the
quite the
notifications
supply
are
right
on.
there. That becomes barter town if you can keep it and protect it. But Pat, you broke up. I'm at 5%, and I'm tired. I got a bail. I helped Bar with his
All right.
garden, this big ass fish pond tonight. We were gonna dig it out, but there's too much water in it. Couldn't get it all pumped out, and it's supposed to rain later on.
We're
So
about to hit that 2-hour mark. So I guess we'll go ahead and wind it down.
I'm glad that you could do a takeover stream and I could be involved with it. See it.
Everybody made it. Thank y'all for being here. Any closing
Y'all
words?
be nice.
Y'all be nice. Happy Mother's Day. Quack, I think you're a mighty fine mother. All right, everybody. We'll catch you Tuesday nights. If Jay's still going, go over there and show him some love.